Learning Korean is not a competition. Other people's success in Korean learning does not mean you're a failure. Rather, think of Korean learning as a This will make you be able to learn Korean without stress. Learning a new language itself is undoubtedly important, but also how you learn is so important too, because what you want to learn defines your language learning goal, and how you learn defines how far you will go in your language learning journey. So in today's video, to help you get to the destination you want to reach, I'm going to talk about 3 critical mistakes Korean beginners make. Let's get started from the first mistake. Including my past self, I saw many language learning beginners regarding language learning as a competition. And I saw them unconsciously comparing themselves to the other learners. But comparing yourself to the other Korean learners gives you stress and anxiety. And some research tells us that stress and anxiety interfere with our language learning process. In other words, it won't help you to consider learning Korean as a competition. You might have been considering Korean learning as a sort of competition, but it's not. Your Korean learning is your own journey. Do you compare yourself with others when traveling, like who's gonna get there first? Do you feel like you're a failure if you didn't arrive at some place faster than other tourists? Other people's success in language learning does not mean you're a failure. And one more thing. Have you ever thought about why people call language learning journey? Here's why. Because enjoying the whole process itself, including making tons of mistakes and feeling frustration, is the real definition of language learning, not becoming more fluent than other learners. Think about this. If someone stops learning Korean at intermediate level, will you call that person a failure? Definitely not. It's just a stop. That person can start again whenever he or she wants. That's the journey. If you want to go as far as possible, then you can go. But also, you can rest or stop at some point if you want. If you're not a person who makes a living with the Korean language, such as an interpreter or a diplomat, it's perfectly okay to take it easy. So let's consider your Korean learning as a journey. In other words, let's try to enjoy the process itself. If I say so, however, you might think like this. It's easier said than done. Tell me how. Alright, to enjoy the process and feel rewarded continuously, I recommend you to consider being better than last month as a criterion of success. Because many language learners tend to set a goal like reaching native level in a relatively short period of time. And because they set a too high goal from the beginning, all small but critical progress at the beginner level starts to be shown as nothing. Simply put, you will not be able to find any little success or progress from yourself, even though you are actually progressing. Instead of that, as you already know, let's replace the definition of success with being better than last month. For your information, the reason why I told you better than last month is it takes time for your brain to make progress that you can actually feel. Okay, that was the first mistake Korean beginners often make. And let's move on to the next one. Including my past self again, most beginners fail to go forward in a language they're learning beyond the beginner level. It's because even though you already know mistakes are kind of good things in your head, you won't feel they're good things. Nevertheless, we have to make as many mistakes as possible because that really is the most effective way to learn a new language. I'll show you why making mistakes is the most effective way to learn. Looking back on your entire life so far, there are so many things you don't remember. However, I bet you will never forget the memories of your making mistakes. Likewise, if you make a mistake and somebody corrects it, you will never forget what you learned from that mistake. I hope you remember this. The only way for you not to make any mistakes is to do nothing. And most people who seem to make almost no mistakes in their work or anything like that could become like that because they have made uncountable mistakes. I know you're still afraid of making mistakes, but what's the worst thing that could happen? Maybe some rude people would just laugh at your grammar, pronunciation, or vocabulary. So what? Furthermore, in my experience, most of people who laugh at language learners can only speak one language. At least you have way better linguistic skills than impolite bad those people. That's the fact. Unfortunately, as far as I know, most Koreans won't judge your Korean skills. Even if you make mistakes, they will kindly let you know what went wrong. And also, Koreans will compliment you so much when you even speak really basic words. I'll share a practical tip for learning Korean with you this time. Many Korean beginners memorize verbs and nouns separately, but it can make you confused at some point in your Korean learning journey, because there are some verbs that have the same meaning but have different sounds. Furthermore, there are specific nouns that fit only with specific verbs. For example, 입다 and 신다 have the same meaning, but 신다 only fits with footwear. 양말을 신다. On the other hand, 입다 can't fit with footwear. Because of this, if you memorize verbs and nouns separately, you might make awkward sentences sometimes. So, in order to prevent that, I recommend you to memorize verbs and nouns into a chunk. For example, 모자를 쓰다, 커피를 내리다. Got it? Alright, this is what I prepared for you in today's video. By any chance, if you have any questions about Korean language or if you want to ask me to deal with certain topics, feel free to leave your comment on my video. Thank you so much for watching this video and have a nice day.